Welcome everyone to Data Science Building Blocks. This is video number 1. I'm Joe, and today I'm going to walk you through a short demo on pivot tables. Okay, first step is actually making sure you have Microsoft Office downloaded on your computer. So go ahead and Google buy Microsoft Office or something like that. The first or second link will take you to Microsoft's page where you'll find some subscription deals and also just a one-time buy right here. That's what I have on my computer. Next step, actually finding a data set that you want to work with and build your pivot table off of. I came out to Kaggle.com. I have a free account. It's very reputable. You can set one up easily too. They have a bunch of data sets out here. I just browsed around and found this country's life expectancy data set and went ahead and clicked download. I already did this, so I'll take you to my downloads folder. Here it is as a Microsoft Excel comma separated values worksheet, otherwise known as a CSV file. Okay, so here's the data. I'm just going to select it all by dragging my cursor. You can double click on any edge here. That will expand everything out so that you can see it. I will do from cell A1 Control Shift down, and that goes from top to bottom, just like doing Control Shift, holding that in, right arrow key takes you from left to right. That will select all your data as long as your rows and columns are next to each other and populated. So you can see here that we have a little over 3,200 rows. Entity is in column A. Looks like we have some repeating values. We have year in column B. That is unique, not unique generally, but unique by entity. And then in column C, we have life expectancy for that year, for that entity. And now that all of our data is selected, it's super easy to make a pivot table. Just go to Insert, Pivot Table. Don't worry about this first one. We've already selected the data. New worksheet's fine. Click OK. Okay, so now we're ready to roll. This is nice because we only have 3 columns. So I'm going to just drag in entity in rows, year in filters, and life expectancy in values. So already you can see the power of pivot tables. The point is to put the data into a more easily digestible format. Group by some column, otherwise known as a field, and then see math rolled up by that column. And you'll see that right here. Sum doesn't really make sense, so I'm going to click the caret here, value field settings, and change it to average. Now we can see average life expectancy. It's a lot more useful. However, this is still over the last 200 years or so, so I'm going to click my year filter, select multiple items, check off all, and then just do the last 5 years by scrolling down and clicking on 2016 through 2012. So it's the last 5 years up to 2016. Taking this a step further, I'll right click anywhere in that values field and click sort and sort largest to smallest. Now we can see that Japan is at the top with just under 84 years of life expectancy on average between 2012 and 2016, whereas India is last on the list at just under 68 years. Okay, so I want to show you one more thing. Go to the life expectancy tab, click anywhere, do a Control Shift down to go all the way to the bottom again. What happens if you want to add a row? You know, in the future you might have a data set that's live that you want to add to continuously. So I'll just try Fiji 2016 and something egregious like 1,000 so that it stands out on the pivot table. If I go back to sheet 2 where the pivot table lives, right click anywhere on it, click refresh, nothing happens unfortunately. That's because we pre-selected the rows and columns, right? So we actually have to change the data source if we want this to populate. To do that, you have to go to this Pivot Table Tools ribbon, Analyze, change your data source, and this is the data that we selected initially. I know we added just one more row, so I'm going to backspace the 4, add a 5. That should capture that last row, and here it is. But there's a better way to do this, so let's look at the better way to do it. Click on life expectancy, hold in the Control key, click life expectancy and hold down, drag it over to the right to make a copy. Now select your data again. I did Control Shift right arrow, kept holding in Control Shift and then down arrow. And go to Format as Table, select any one of these, I'll pick the orange one. And now make a pivot table off of this. So if I do Insert, Pivot Table, you can see now that it selects the entire table. We don't have to specify rows or columns. It's smart enough to know we want the whole table. So new worksheet again, I'll do year in filters, entity in rows, and life expectancy in values, and I'll leave it as a sum. This is just for demonstration purposes. Now if I go back to life expectancy, go all the way down, add another Fiji row, in 2015, 2000, I should see 3000 when I go back to the pivot table and refresh, and I do. So I hope you enjoyed this short tutorial from me. I plan to post future videos, so if you plan on building your skills, we can build upon this worksheet here. So go ahead and do File, Save As, and save this as an Excel workbook, not a CSV, because you want to keep your tabs. So I'll just save this to my desktop, change CSV to Excel workbook, and then just call it Data Science Building Blocks 1. And there you have it. We'll see you next time.